Hey, everybody, and welcome in as once again Cricket presents the warm-up. Neil Beasley, but that is Ward Fasold, and we're here to talk about DFW sports. Obviously, big basketball going on right now. First of all, Ward, did you get out and see a lot of basketball this past weekend?
I did, but not on Friday. I went on Thursday. Friday was as we all know, the world was shut down with this ice stuff. Everybody, I was trying to get some groceries on Friday. I came away with one slice of bread and a small thing of yogurt. So, hey, I might finally lose some weight here with the lack of food I got in the house. But I did see a lot of good stuff on Thursday.
Breakfast of champions, by the way. So
there you go.
All right, well, we'll start with something great, and that's Soulman's Barbecue. The lineup is brought to you by Soulman's Barbecue, and then we talk about some games that you need to know about. And the first one is Allen and Plano West, and really, I guess all the games we're going to talk about here are really for a battle for the division title, right?
Absolutely, it's right. It's a bunched up at the top of a lot of these districts, and Allen's district of 6A. Allen's up there right now at 8-1 going into this week with Plano East right behind him at 8-2, and Plano West is 7-3. But this is going to be a tough one because Plano West had to go into overtime to beat him the first time around. Allen had to beat Plano West in overtime the first time around, beat him by 8 points. But, Allen's got that Nehemiah Lawrence. I'm telling you, he's a viral sensation, 5'3". He's all over the place, quick, fast like a bunny. They got Cade Erickson. They got a bunch. They haven't lost in 2026, so I know we're still young, but they still haven't lost in this year. They won 7 in a row, but they're going to have to slow down Plano West Christian Darko, who is a heat check. I mean, if he gets hot, it's over with. I mean, he'll put 20 to 30 points on you in a heartbeat, and they're playing that game at home, so this will be a good chance for Plano West to make a run at that district title. If they are going to do it, they're going to have to start by upsetting Allen.
And if I'm not mistaken, Grand Prairie, they're at home, and they get to take on Arlington Martin, another one of those games.
Absolutely. Grand Prairie hasn't lost in district play. They won the first matchup by 2 points. Obviously, they're led by Stephen McLeod, who's their sensational junior, but they got a freshman named Felix Okim, who's real long and lengthy and can make shots all over the place, and a slew of pesky guards, I like to call them. But they've won 10 in a row. Haven't come really that close to losing in district play. Martin has 4-star player Stephen Reynolds, Jeremy Nyakundi. They have Levi Moore, but that's pretty much it. Those three are their offense. They're going to need to find another source to pull out a win here. They're in third place right now. Solid playoff team, but if they want to make a run at the title, they're going to need an upset win Friday night.
Another one of those games, really. Red Oak and Midlothian. This one at Midlothian.
Yeah, Red Oak, this one may not be as close as the other two. Red Oak is just, they're under the radar, just dominant. They remind me of the teams that had Marcus Sasser, who's now in the NBA, of about 5-6 years ago. They're ranked 6th in the state. They're just beating everybody down. They got Devin Kirk, Carrick Bradford, Anthony Bourdain. They beat Midlothian by 16 the last time. Midlothian's got Chris Hardaway and Jacob Almodovar, but it's going to take a lot to kind of trip up this Red Oak team who is on fire right now.
All right, we'll switch it over a little bit for girls for our Media Day segment. I know, Ward, you like to get that inside information. And Lancaster girls are always planning on going deep in the playoffs, and that's who we're talking to today. And LaJeanna Howard, the head coach of Lancaster girls basketball, in this week's Media Day segment.
The lineup is brought to you by Soulman's Barbecue, true Texas tradition since 1974. Over 50 years of slow-smoked perfection passed down through generations. Taste the authentic flavor of Texas. Your favorite burger whenever you want it. Whataburger is open 24/7, just like you like it. Parker University. Check out our bachelor's degree in strength and human performance today.
That's right. I am joined by LaJeanna Howard from the Lancaster Tigers, Weibo Nation, and Weibo Nation is just doing things. It's actually kind of scary because we know the talent you have on your team, but you go up against some of these traditional powers. Last Friday, you went up against Cedar Hill, state runner-up, and you beat these teams by 25, 30, 35. I don't even want to talk about the Duncanville game at Duncanville because that made some fans have to hold their eyes. You knew you had the makings of a great team, but to have them be able to click this much to the point where teams are yelling out "uncle" in the middle of the game to you. Did you think that was going to be the case?
Yes, it's a lot behind this team that people don't know. a lot of these kids have different chips on their shoulders. As a coaching staff, we have a chip on our shoulder. We have something to prove. And when you have a group collectively have that, you're going to get those games where you dig the knife in and you twist it.
Yeah, and you keep on going, and you have the players for it. You got McKenzie out there, you got Journey, you got a bunch of people that, like you said, once they start rolling, they're not going to stop. They got that chip. Talk a little bit more about that chip. Maybe what they're playing for and why they have such a chip on their shoulder.
I mean, just these kids. A lot of these kids have had different scenarios where they couldn't play, or they had to wait their turn, or someone didn't see them and their ability. Just different scenarios like that made them say, I am a great basketball player, and this is what I can do when I have people who believe in me and people who allow me to play my style of basketball. And that's a big thing of it. Coaches, we sometimes get in the way of a kid's production because we want them to run our system, our style. And I'm just a coach who my system is based on the kids that I have at the time. So there's nothing particular about, well, Coach Howard coaches this way or that way. Well, I'm going to coach the kids that I have. And I'm going to make sure that they have an opportunity to perform at their best level.
You scroll through your team schedule. You look at the record. The 5 losses that you do have, 2 are out-of-state teams, 2 are teams that are ranked number 1 in their specific areas. And then you had the DeSoto loss. I was just at Lancaster, which you don't want to talk about. I was just at Lancaster Gym shooting a boys game, and you look up and you see the 4 banners up there, and you don't see a girls one up there. And this has the making of a team, especially going the Division II route. This has the making of a state title team.
Absolutely, and that's something that I've always done. I check those banners out daily, and I look at the holes, and I say I'm going to put one there. And it's my motivation. That's my motivation. I like banners. I like setting the tone. I love legacy type environments. Lancaster has never had a championship. I'd been at some places that had previous championships before I got there. And I kind of wanted to prove myself. Of course, people, already say, well, Coach Howard, she's a great coach. She's a great coach. Well, I went to 2 programs where great programs were already built. Well, so my next destination, I wanted to go somewhere where it had never been done, where people weren't even talking about the girls basketball program. It was not even a thought in their mind, and build it. And now the stamp of how great I am is on this program.
Let's finish it off with, and you obviously made a face at the DeSoto thing. Is there something that you can pick out from that loss? That's the second time I saw it. I don't like seeing that face.
The team shoots 87% on you. You don't expect that. 87%. Come on. Well, have you ever heard of that?
I have not. Well, again, I just told you I was a Hoya fan. I saw that when Villanova played us in the title game. But go ahead. 80, that's crazy.
You don't expect that. And with them shooting 87%, we shot probably one of our lowest percentages of the season. And so it was the perfect storm. We have a comeback coming, setting up and brewing, of course. But at the end of the day, you have to just respect that maybe that loss was bigger than just, okay, this is a district loss. It was a humbling moment for us to say, hey, we still have things we have to work on. Don't get too big-headed. You're doing well, but just make sure we still stay on the detailed things. Practices pumped up just another notch, because when you're beating people 30, 40 points a night, I mean, as much as you want to preach practice hard, it becomes a little harder to do that when you're like, man, we beat them by 40. So that was a midpoint way for us, last of the district, first round of district. So it was not something I wanted.
Right.
Absolutely not. But it may have been needed. And it may be our surge to finish off this 11-game winning streak.
It's one thing to go undefeated through a team, and all of a sudden you're in the playoffs. Now you can't afford to lose. If you can afford to lose one, it's when a team's shooting 80 million %, and you're not playing at your best. I look forward to seeing how this thing finishes out. I hope to see you guys down in San Antonio. And Coach, I appreciate you joining me today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. It's good to see you again.
Good to see you.
L's up, everybody.
The Agenda is brought to you by Allegro Marinade. Whether you're the family chef, a backyard barbecuer, or a jerky-making genius, maximize flavor and tenderness with Allegro Marinades.
Discover what happens when rugged capability meets true performance. Kia, movement that inspires.
Time now, though, for the agenda, and that this week is presented by Allegro. And we're going to talk some other sports, I guess, and you can never get too far away from football in Texas. And we've got football in our news and notes this week, don't we?
Yeah. We're going to gather up a little news and notes and try to gather up in a nice little ball and present it to you. You know, last week we saw Shane Tollison was hired as the Denton Ryan new head coach. He coached at Waxahachie for the past since 2021, 45-17 there. But Tollison came from Ryan. He was the defensive coordinator there for 7 years, part of that 2020 state title team. He's got a great linebacker son, Cade Tollison, who I'm assuming, you got to assume, we can't just say it's going to happen, but I'm assuming he's coming with them, and that'll be a big splash on the defensive secondary for him. He plays linebacker for him. Also, you know, realignment's this coming Monday. It's at 9 o'clock. Everybody's talking about it. All the coaches will be at Birdville Athletic Complex. Find out where the new district. It's kind of like opening up a new present. I love it. I love seeing how the new districts are for the next 2 years. Coaches love it too. They'll see, you know, the big questions are, you know, Leo's up in 6A. Are they going to go out west? Or are they going to stick around with Crowley and North Crowley? Garland ISD is always interesting because they keep opting up to 6A. I don't know how UIL is going to position them again. You know, DeSoto, are they going to be 5A, 6A? There's a lot of questions out there. And also, a piece of news that we just heard a couple of days ago is that Walnut Grove star quarterback Hayes Hackney, he's heading to Argyle. He transferred to Argyle, so he'll be their quarterback next year as McGuire Gasperson graduated and moved on to UTSA. That's going to be interesting because Hackney threw for over 3,000 yards there at Walnut Grove. We'll see what he does there. And finishing off a little tip of the cap to Byron Nelson's Sophie Patterson. She won the National Gatorade Player of the Year for volleyball. One of the best setters in the nation. She's going to Texas A&M, not next year, though. She's just a junior. So she won this award as a junior. She had over 1,500 assists. She's just dominant. So Byron Nelson fans will get to see her again next year.
Well, there's an awful lot going on. So I guess really the big question is the weather going to cooperate this week, huh?
Let's hope. I know Monday's with a lot of schools canceled. Let's hope it cooperates here at the end of the week.
It's Texas, right? You never know what you're going to get. All right, Ward, thank you very much. We will see you next week. If you are out there, out and about this week, if you can get out and about, please enjoy your games. We will see you right back here next week, and we will leave you with our DFW area private school boys rankings. Until next week, see you.